Hi there. For this week's First Chapter Friday, I'm going to read you a little bit from the brand new book that just came out, Blood in the Water by Tiffany Jackson. So she writes mostly young adult books. We do have the couple that we have in our library are Monday's Not Coming, and she also contributed to the book Blackout and the book Whiteout. And so this is her first middle grade level book, and it is a murder mystery. So you'll find this in the mystery thriller section of our library. And it's about a girl who goes to Martha's Vineyard on a trip to stay with some friends of her family who she doesn't really know very well. And so she gets kind of involved right away, like jumps right into the action pretty quickly. And right away she gets involved in something that she didn't expect. So I'm going to read you the prologue first, and then we'll go from there. So, oh, by the way, the prologue is like a little taste of the book at the beginning that kind of is designed to suck you in. In this case, the prologue is just a little taste of something that happens later in the book. I fall and fall deeper into the dark, bottomless, ice-cold ocean. Suddenly, I come to an abrupt stop, and my body starts floating back to the surface. I flap my arms, kick my legs, and pop up with a gasping breath, the crisp night air hitting my throat. I slap the water, looking for anything to hold on to. Through my blurry vision, I see the rocks jutting out under the bridge. I just have to swim and grab hold of one. I kick my legs wildly and try to grip the water as if it's a surface I can crawl across. Don't splash too much. Sharks attack at night, I can't help but think. Swim, I keep telling myself. You can do it. But the water is strong, the current latching onto my waist. I can barely keep afloat. My clothes feel heavy, weighing me back down. I cough up salty water, staying focused on the rocks, but they look too far away. Help, I cry out, wondering if anyone can hear me, wondering if the murderer is watching me sink to the bottom. So I'm going to do something a little bit unusual. I'm actually going to skip chapter 1 and skip to chapter 2 and read that. And that's because, not that chapter 1's not important, because if you're going to read the whole book, it is. But for First Chapter Friday, first chapter just isn't as exciting. It is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine that people who write for middle school don't make their first chapters more exciting. Like, the prologue was really good. Let's do a little more of that. So I'm going to skip the first chapter. The first chapter involves the main character, Kaylani, getting ready for the trip, talking to her mom, and talking to her dad on the phone. And just for context here, her dad is in prison for what's called for embezzling money from his company. But Kaylani thinks that he is innocent, and she's working on trying to prove that. So she wants to be a lawyer when she grows up. Okay, so let's go on to chapter 2. The giant boat rocks and sways, water splashing along the side. Seagulls fly above in a cloudless blue sky, the wind carrying the scent of seawater. I'd enjoy the view, but I'm too busy trying not to throw up. Again. All while London Watson's face is turned up in disgust beside me. Have you, never been on a ferry before? London has on a light pink hoodie, denim shorts, and white sneakers. Her long black hair is pulled into a tight ponytail. She's my age, but only one of us is wearing lip gloss and blush that looks too bright on her brown face. I've been on the Staten Island ferry once with Dad. He called it a day cruise to see the Statue of Liberty. But this ferry's different. We're sailing across an ocean of rough waters, away from civilization. Or that's how it seems. When Mr. Watson pulled up to the port in Massachusetts, there were already dozens of people ready to take the 45-minute steamship ride to Martha's Vineyard. Cars lined up in a row to drive into the undercarriage. I've never been on a boat that had cars on it. Some people had their vehicles packed with stuff as if they planned living on the island for a while. I guess that makes sense. Grandma did say the Watsons spend their entire summers on the vineyard, from Memorial Day to late September. Once on board, we jumped out of the car, went up to the top deck, and took our seats at the front of the ship, known as the bow. I was excited, until the boat started moving and my peanut butter and jelly sandwich found its way up my throat and onto my shirt. I couldn't believe I barfed in front of everyone, and no nurse's office to hide in until my mom could come and take me home. Yup, it happens to the best of us, Mr. Watson had said with a chuckle after handing me a bottle of water and some napkins. At least you don't get carsick. London didn't say anything at first, only glared in disgust while inching away from me. I don't blame her. Throwing up is nasty. But she could have at least given me a towel or something. Mr. Watson recognized a couple from the island and walked inside to chat with them. I leaned my head back, letting the cool breeze hit my face. My stomach is twisting, my head spinning, and my skin is sticky with sweat as the boat bounces off the waves. How much longer, I groan, covering my mouth with one hand, gripping the seat in front of me with the other. London stares at my white knuckles with a frown. So you've never been to the vineyard before either? She asks, shaking her head. OMG, we go to the vineyard every summer. So do like a bunch of my friends from school. Have you ever left Brooklyn in your entire life? God, what am I saying? Of course you haven't. London's clearly the type of girl who asks questions that she really wants to answer herself. Mom was kind of right. London and I were friends at one point. We played together a bunch of times when we were 5, before her parents whisked her off to some fancy house in Connecticut. Then I never heard from her again. Why leave Brooklyn when we're the coolest place to be? I croak out. Yeah, I know it's a whack comeback, but in my condition, I'm lucky I came up with anything to say at all. I glance over at London's big sister, Cassie. She's sitting a few seats away, as if being near us would be an embarrassment. Eyes hidden behind dark shade, she yawns, pulling her gray hoodie over her dark curly hair. A boy walks by, staring at Cassie, damn near tripping over himself. Cassie gives him an unimpressed blank expression and turns back to the sea. I watch London peep the entire interaction. She swallows, sits up taller, and breaks out her own pair of sunglasses. Cassie didn't say more than 10 words the whole car ride to the port, while London chatted away with Mr. Watson. Cassie doesn't seem like a talker. Mom would call her one of those depressed about nothing teenagers. Beautiful tan skin, big eyes, tall skinny legs. 4 years older than us, but London could be her younger clone. I bet London would love hearing that. Shark! Someone hollers. I freeze like my body turned into a block of ice. All heads snap to the left. A woman is stretching herself nearly overboard to take a closer look at the water. She points wildly with one hand, holding her sun hat with the other. Shark! Right there! Ugh, not again, one of the stewards behind us grumbles as a crowd gathers, peering down below. Shark? I manage to whisper, but no one hears me. We are that far from civilization that we're being hunted by sharks? London and Cassie jump up, joining the rest of the ship, searching the waters. I don't see anything, someone says. Its fin came up over there, the woman in the hat insists. The only sharks I've ever seen were at the aquarium, but those lazy things didn't look like they could chase a goldfish. But out here, sharks are the killing machines of the sea, and we're next on this one's list. I think I'm going to be sick again. An old couple in front of me turns and giggles. Didn't realize I said that out loud. Oh, there it is, I hear someone shout. I start to stand to join the others, but I'm too dizzy to take a step. Now, I don't want to look all shook in front of London. I want to seem cool and brave now that I'm a kid from BK and nothing scares me. But sharks? I have my limits. Still, I manage to stay on my feet and shift closer to the rail. In the distance, I spot a slick, dark gray fin peeking out of the water, as if slicing it open. I stagger backward, tripping over a seat, holding in a scream. Maybe we should call ahead and warn the beaches, a woman shouts. I don't see anything, someone else calls. How could he miss it? Nothing to worry about, folks, a young steward announces, cupping hands around his mouth to make his voice carry. That's a basking shark, lambs of the sea. They're harmless and stay far from shore. They don't care about humans. Everyone is safe. The excitement dies down as people return to their seats. London plops down beside me. I thought it was a real shark, she pouts. I don't think that shark would be down with you clowning it. London rolls her eyes. So much for my attempt at a joke. The boat jerks to the right and my stomach tries to jump overboard. Maybe I need a distraction. I reach into my bag to grab my study notes, then hesitate. What if London sees and starts asking questions? What if she tells her grandparents who ask my mom about it? How would I explain? So I stuff the notes deeper into my bag and grab my iPod, untangling the headset. I'll have to study when no one is around. Maybe find a library on the island. What the hell is that? London's question pulls me out of my thoughts. My music player, I say, wondering how such a fancy-pants girl like her wouldn't recognize it. An iPod? Where'd you pick that up, in the 1980s? My neck feels hot, and it's not from the sun. It's that same feeling I got when kids at school asked about Dad. So, you don't have an iPhone, she asks. No, I don't have a cell phone. I mean, yet. So, how are you going to text all your friends? I hope you don't expect to borrow my phone all summer because I'll be tied up. No real friends to text, I want to say. Any friends I had are long gone, and the only person I really want to talk to is Dad. Mom promised to give him the number to the Watson's house so he can call. But what if he calls while I'm out? How will he reach me? London is still staring at my headphones as if she's never seen wires before in her life. Uh, do you want to try them or something, I ask? Ew, no. And what are you listening to on that thing anyway, Beethoven? J-Rock, I say proudly. J-Rock, oh my God, that is so old school. Suddenly, my seasickness lifts and I'm back to myself, because there's no way I'm going to let anyone talk about J-Rock like that. You out of your mind? He just came out with a new album 2 months ago. He's going on tour this summer. He has more hits than any rapper alive. Yeah, and he's old and whack. I almost fall out of my seat. What? No, he's not. He's the greatest rapper of all time. No one listens to him anymore. I do, my dad does, and so do a lot of other people. Well, that explains a lot. Steam rises in my throat. What's that supposed to mean? She smirks as if proud of herself. It means London. Cassie's voice startles us both. She uses it so little that it's hard to ignore. Don't, Cassie says, without glancing at us, without even moving an inch. You remember what Mom said, so just don't. London swallows whatever poison she has on her tongue with a grimace. It must taste like vomit. But I'm not ready to drop the conversation. How could she call J-Rock old and whack? Does she have any idea how he's changed the game of hip-hop? Does she even listen to music or just that mumble rap stuff my cousins love? Before I can say another word, the steamship whistle blows. Up ahead, land is on the horizon, moving closer. As everyone begins gathering their things, I take a quick peek over the side of the boat, into the dark blue waters, thinking back to what the steward had said and knowing the truth. Sharks are never harmless. So, if you're like me and you're trying to hold on a little bit to summer, even though it's now turning into fall, you might pick up this book about teenagers spending the summer on an island off the coast of Massachusetts called Martha's Vineyard, a murder mystery. And actually, also, I want to show you these really cool edges of the book, the red edges, which I think are really cool. It's fun when books have neat stuff like that. So check out Blood in the Water at our school library in the mystery thriller section.